Hey guys, I'm just going to review quickly the two ways that you'll export your files for your project. One way is going to be to send to the Graphics Center or to bring to the Graphics Center that PDF, and then another one will be what you will turn in your Dropbox. So I'll go over what you'll turn into the Dropbox first. So you want to make sure that you have your document set up. You want your images to extend to these bleed lines. Like so. Here my image is extending to the red bleed line, and you want to make sure that you have all of your fonts, nothing is missing, and all of your links are working. So then you're going to go to File, Export, and I'm just going to save this on the desktop magazine for Dropbox. And then we'll select Print, and then we'll go get to this dialog box. What we're going to do is go down and select Press Quality. We'll go over to marks and bleeds, and we're going to want to select crop marks, and then we'll also select the use document bleed settings. Okay, so for the purpose of turning into the Dropbox, we'll submit that, and let's see, view PDF after exporting. Okay. I think it's just still loading. Okay, I don't have anything on my cover page, so you're not going to see that. My design's not really done. But anyway, as I scroll down, then I can see my pages laid out in spreads. And when you turn this into me, that's going to be a good idea because then I can see what you were going for. I can see the full page in spreads, and then I can see here that you understood how to use bleed settings, because if I can just see with my eye that if I'm going to crop along this line, then you have this a little bit of the extra image of your bleed. So that's kind of what I'm looking for there. So when you're going to submit to the Dropbox and you want me to see your pages and spreads, those are the settings that I'm telling you to select. On the other hand, when you're going to the Graphics Center doesn't want to get your file and have your pages in spreads. The Graphics Center wants single pages. So you're going to need to export in a different way. So you're going to go to File, Export, and we'll save, this is Center, Magazine for Graphics Center, okay. And then again, we'll select Press Quality, and then we'll select Pages. We want single pages, so you'd make sure that you're not selected on spreads. Here you could select single page, single page continuous, but you could just leave this at default. I know we kind of reviewed that in class, but don't worry about that. As long as you have this selected on pages, that's fine. Then we'll go into marks and bleeds, and then again, you're only going to want the crop marks. I know I've said that you need bleed marks in other projects and also in this project, but you don't need them. If you went there with the bleed marks, they are able to still use your file, but if you are just exporting right now, do not select this box, only crop marks. You do want to select use document bleed settings because you still want your bleed to be showing when you export this. So this is pretty easy. So just crop marks and use document bleed settings, and then again, just single pages, okay? So we'll export that, and then we'll open it. I don't know why it's not automatically opening, but that's okay. Damn it. So again, I don't have anything on my first page, but I have on the rest of them. One thing that you guys will notice, and you might think that it's an error, is so say for instance, it's hard to tell really on this image, but it's actually making up some of the backgrounds there. Let's see, I'll show you more on this here. So say you have a blank white page on your left side of your facing page, your left facing page, and then on your right facing page you have an image. Well, here it wants to make up a little bit of bleed. And so you'll see this weird stripe here, like, okay, this isn't supposed to be here. This is from my other page, but why is that here? Like, I don't need that. don't worry about it. It's not going to print. You don't need that. Like the computer or I'm sorry, the printing system will automatically crop that off. So don't worry if you see this weirdness. I actually questioned it too, and then I went to the graphics center and they kind of reassured me that this was fine. And then I did a test print, and it worked out fine. So you'll want to make sure that your pages are set up in these single spreads. In a single view, you have the crop marks, and then you are also going to check and make sure that your bleed is correct. So here I know I had a little bit of bleed on this side of this image, and I can see that's correct, so I'm pretty much good to go. Okay, and then this is what you would bring to the graphics center. Now it might seem weird because you're like, okay, how are they going to put my pages together? You know, like this doesn't really make sense. Like these are single pages, but my pages are spread. I want them to print in spreads. Don't worry about it. It will all be taken care of for you at the graphics center. Just trust it. One other thing that I want to remind you of is that if you have more than 16 pages, which 16 pages was the minimum requirement, if you wanted to go up in pages, you have to make sure that the number of pages is divisible by 4. So you have 16 pages. If you wanted to add more pages, the next amount of pages you could have is 20, and then 24, and so on. You can't have 17 or 18 or 19 pages because it doesn't work that way in the printing process. The number of pages are divisible by 4. And if you have 17 or 18 pages, the system will just add in blank pages for you, which maybe you think that that's fine, but it will throw off your layout. So, you know, maybe you have this spread here on pages 2 and 3 right here, but maybe it'll throw a blank page in, and then page 3 will get moved to page 4. So it could throw it off. So definitely make sure that you have your pages are divisible by 4. And other than that, if you have any questions, you can email me or come into my office hours. I'll be here Monday from 9:30 till about 11:45 to answer some questions if you have any. And even if you just think that you have it right and you just want to make sure, just come in and ask, because it's better and less stress for you to do that rather than, you know, hand something in incorrectly. Alrighty, have a good break.